Hi guys, welcome back to the Codefreak channel. Freak out as you code. So let's go right ahead and try to solve all the questions in the 16th tutorial, 17th tutorial and the 18th tutorial. The 16th tutorial was about recursions. So let's go ahead and do it. So we have to use recursions and solve these questions. Okay. So the first question was make an array and print all the elements in the array from first to the last, and also print it from last to first. So this is a nice question actually, which we had not seen in the tutorial, which I wanted you guys to do it on your own, try it out on your own. So let's make an array. So I'm going to just name it an array like that, and then I'm going to put in some numbers there, 1 2 3 4 5 6. It can be anything, so I'm just doing this for as an example. So let's create a recursive function. So I'll call it function, and then I'll name it print elements. So let's have a number inside it. So that is going to be our index. So that's why I've just named it, and you can name it I or anything for that matter. So what is going to be the stop condition? If n is equal to or instead of that, if n is greater than equal to array dot length. So you can do this. There are two ways of doing it actually many ways there, but I'm just using this one. Okay. Then what you can do is you can end it. So how do you want to end it exactly? You don't want to say anything, maybe you just leave it like that. Okay. And then you can do else, and else you want to call this function again and print the number. So we'll call the function print elements, and we will give an n minus 1 as the n plus 1 as the parameter. Okay, and then we'll print the element before this. Okay, so console.log for the array of n. This is how our function is going to look like. So you have to do print elements of 0. So since 0 is the first element, you don't want to give a 0, you can just put n equal to 0 here. So that's the default way of giving it, right? So that also works, I guess. So let's see, we got all the elements from top to bottom. So if I just take this thing and put it here, you will get in the opposite manner. So I didn't save it. Now you'll get it in the opposite manner. 6. That's with respect to how to print the elements of an array in the ascending order, or from first to last and from last to first. Now let's look at the next question, which is the Fibonacci series to recursion. So I'm just going to make a function here. We had actually done this using for loop, so it is kind of similar, but it's a little different also. It's easier to do with respect to recursions. So Fibonacci, I'll just name it like that, and we want to take in n as a parameter again. Okay, and then if, so the condition for stopping is going to be if n is equal to 0. Okay, so if n is equal to 0, you can return 1, maybe something like that. Let's see if you need to change this condition. We can even change it also. So else you want to return Fibonacci of actually you need to return Fibonacci of n minus 1. Okay, n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2, because it's just the sum of the last two numbers, right, of the series. So I think that should be good. But what happens when you come to okay, so let's take an example where n is 5. Okay, or maybe 5. Okay, 5. Okay, let's see what happens actually, and let me call the function and see. So console.log Fibonacci of let's say 3 for the first time. Okay, and let's check out the answer that we get. So we got a 5 here. So this Fibonacci recursive function gives only the nth number, or only the nth term in the Fibonacci series. Okay, so if you want to display all of them, you can actually create one more function which is going to take from 0 to n and then do it that way, or here after each and everything you can actually print it out also. That's also fine, right? So Fibonacci of 1 is gonna be 2. Okay, so that's, we're starting from 2 here, so you can modify it to start from whichever one you want. Okay, so next one is gonna be, let me just refresh it, next one is gonna be 3. Okay, 2 plus 3, and then next one is gonna be 4, which is 8. Okay, so like that. So what happens here is, when you say Fibonacci of 4, it goes here, and then here you do Fibonacci of 3 plus Fibonacci of 2. Okay, so what Fibonacci of 3 does is, it goes to Fibonacci of 2 and plus Fibonacci of 1, and then what they do again is that Fibonacci of 2 becomes Fibonacci of 1 and Fibonacci of 0, which will both will return 1 easily. So now let's look at a sum factorial. So this is very similar to the one which we had done in the class. So let me do that, factorial. So let's make the function sum factorial. And you want a number inside it, so I just call it num. You can call it anything you want. So you have a if ending condition, obviously, which is going to be less than equal to 0, then, or equal to 1, I think should be good, because we don't want to do one more recursion there. So it's up to you finally. So you're going to return 1 here, return 1. That's going to be the end statement, and the function that you will actually do is, you will here return, you can return a num plus sum factorial of num minus 1. That's it. I think this should give you the perfect answer. So let's just console.log this whole thing out. So console.log. So maybe we want to call the sum factorial inside this, and maybe you want 4, because in the question I had said 4. Let's see if we get the appropriate answer. This is supposed to be num, guys. Yeah, so let's do it again. It's 10. Perfect. So this question is kind of the toughest question among the 4, I guess. So if you have not got the answer, don't worry, I'm going to explain to you in detail. So we have 1 by power of x comma 1, that means 1 by x power 1 by minus 2 by x power 2 plus 3 by x power 3, and then so on till n by x power n. So you have this plus minus in middle. That is going to be a tricky part. Okay, so let's try to do that. Let's go ahead. So I'll make a function, and I'll call this function fun. So you can call anything, you can call it anything. So we have 2 parameters here, one is x and one is n. You can keep x fixed also, but I just want to take them as parameters, so that is why I'm just doing it this way. All right, so we need a power function. That is something which we need, right? Because see, everywhere you are having x comma 1. So first of all, let's make the power function. So function, let me just call it power and x comma exponent. There is one thing, this x is same as this x here, but it may not be same also in the other cases. Okay, so how do you do the power function? If x is greater than, or if x is less than equal to 0, you can return 1. Else you are going to return you're going to return power of x comma exp minus 1. We have done this previously also, I guess, in the class, and then here you can put x into. So that should be actually good. So we have this function ready. So now let's go ahead and do this. So the ending condition, so here also we will start from n and then go to 1 or 0. So that means when n is going to become equal to 0, we have to stop it. So that should be our end condition, right? So what do you want to return? You want to return 0 here, because there is going to be an addition. So you can see that also previously. I'm making it right along with you. I have not solved it before. Okay, so that is something which you guys also can keep in mind. So if I make a mistake, forgive me. I won't make a mistake, don't worry. It's a simple question only. So you want to return 1 by, 2 by, 3 by. So right now it should be n by. So whatever is n by, power. So you can just use power of x comma n, x comma n. This is the last term, so we'll start off with that. And then you want to, so for plus and minus, this is going to be a tricky part. Here if you actually see, if n is odd, then you have plus, and if n is even, you have minus. So to keep a track of that, we can actually have another thing here. Okay, so that is going to keep a track of whether it's positive or negative. So let's just create a variable for now, like maybe a, and then what you have to do here is a into, if it's minus, it's just going to be 1 or minus 1. So how are you going to decide if it's 1 or minus 1? That you can actually do it here itself. A star equal to minus 1. So each time it will keep changing, and in the beginning, based on whether n is even or odd, you can actually just put in the value appropriately. I'll show you that with examples. Okay, so we just put plus because that is going to be taken care of. So plus fun of x comma x comma n minus 1 comma a. Okay, so I think this should be good. So let me just call the function func. So maybe we can check 1 by power of x comma 1. So we'll just check only for the first one. Okay, so for now let's take x to be maybe 1 and n also to be 1, and then so since it's a odd number, you have to give 1. If it's an even number, you can give minus 1 as a. So this, if you do this, and actually you should console.log this. So let me do that. Console.log fun111. So let's check it out. So minimum stock size exceeded. So you got minus 1 here. So why did you get minus 1? You should actually keep minus 1 for odd numbers. So then you will get the plus 1, the answer, right? Because you are multiplying first. Okay, so that is something which I forgot. Let's go ahead and do the questions in the next section. So create a class called clock written in functional style. The clock should tick in the console. So in the console menu, we should make a clock which will tick. So let's go ahead and do that. You have to first create a class. We'll call it clock. So let's have a function which is going to run my clock. So I can just call it run. Yeah, that should be good. So let's create a date. So how do you get in the date? You can get it from your sister. So there is a new type called date. So if you have not known about it, just you can see this video to understand that. So date, this is how you do that. Make the hours. So I'll call h to be hours. Okay, I'll equate it to date dot get hours. So get hours is one function in this thing, in the class date. There is one more condition which you have to do, that I'll show you. If h is less than 10, you want to put a 0. You want to add a 0. Okay, so you can do h equal to, you can use strings. See, that helps out a lot now. Plus h. So similarly you can do it for all of the others. You can use even question mark colon also. So I'm just, so let's make an variable called output, which will where we're going to store this particular thing in the proper way that we want to see it. So you can have your r, and then you can do plus colon. So we'll do this, that you get it in the perfect format that you want. Okay, and then you can do console.log this thing. So actually right now it will just run once and show you the time right now. Okay, so let me create an object of the class. So let clock equal to new clock. So yeah, I've done that. Let me just go up a bit. Let me do clock dot run. I didn't do console.log output. So let's see what happens now. See, you're getting 23:00:57 right now. I think the time is this, so that's what you're getting there. So now if you want to actually run this clock after every second or something like that, okay, so you can do that. You can just do something called you can call a function called start, which will do that for you. So maybe you do this dot run. First you'll run the clock. Use the arrow function. Let's use the arrow function, and let's call this dot run here every second for now. So 1000 milliseconds make a second. So I think this should be good. Now actually we should call, what is this S here? We should call the start function actually, right? So let's see if it works or not. So it's working properly actually. So now you have to create a clock class called precision class, which has the parameter called precision in the as a private variable, and makes it 1000, and it should show the precision as 1000. Okay, that's good. So yeah, let's do that. So you have to make another class here, right? So it is given, the name is also given, precision clock, and let's do that then. Actually one more thing that we need to do is we need to do extends, right? Because we want it to inherit. So extends, and we use the clock here. So you have to create a private variable. So how can we actually do this? We use a constructor for that. We can use a constructor, and let's go ahead and do this dot hash precision equal to let's take a parameter pre, something like that. Let me use it here also. So if there's a default 1000, so you can just do it this way. So that's good, I guess. So we are good to go. So now we have to make an object here, and then based on the precision you need to be able to start. So for that, let's actually do one thing. Let's make another function here called start. So it overrides the previous start. So if you want to call that super dot start, and maybe we will add in a parameter, so which is going to be the precision. So let's add the parameter here also, it becomes easy. And then let's make this p, and in case you want a default one here also, 1000. So that was what I was expecting anyway. So then we don't even need to create this super.p, but okay, here let me put this dot hash precision. Okay, so that this looks good, right? So let's just create a variable of this thing, this precision class, the precision clock. So I'll just call the clock p clock, and clock, and then let's do new precision clock. So we have a parameter, so whatever is the precision, let's put 500 for now. So I think, oh, why have I done this? Okay, so we have created it. Let's call the function start for p clock dot start. That should be good, right? So we should be able to get our answer. Let's see if there are any errors. Private field must be declared in an enclosing class. Okay, so we are supposed to declare this, it says. So let's actually do hash precision. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. Let's just equate it default. I said 1000, so that should be good, right? Now let me refresh it. Type error, class constructor clock. I guess that's because we don't have a constructor here. So let me just add in a constructor here, so that because we should not get any errors, let's have nothing in the constructor. Okay, that also is fine, right? And then in this constructor, let's just add super now you're getting 2 you're getting 2 of each of them. Why are you getting 2 of each of them? Because the precision here is 1 second. So if I change the precision here to maybe 5000, so you should get after every 5 seconds. So you got 45, now then you should get after 5 seconds 50. Yeah, so you got that, right? So this is what I expected with respect to the precision clock. So now you have to make 2 objects of the precision clock which will show different time zones. Find the difference of the time using static method. So this is something which I'm going to leave it to you guys. Think of it and try to do it on your own. Okay, I'm not doing it because this video has become very long already. It's simple. If you still don't get it, put it in the comments. I'll put the code in the comments if you don't get it, because that should help out you. So here we have some questions on the JSON. So let's look at them. So we have to make a 3D array, convert it to JSON and print it out, and then we have to convert it back and then print it out. So this is very simple, I guess. So the tricky part is making the 3D array. So let's try to make an 3D array. So let array 3D equal to, so we have 3 into 3 into 3 3D array. So that, not 3 into 3 into 3, 3 into 2 into 3, I guess. Yeah. So now we have to convert it to JSON. So let's do that. So we have to just create another variable. No, JSON, let me just call it JSON array. JSON array, it's equal to JSON dot stringify. So that was the command, I guess. I don't remember exactly. So array 3D. Okay, and then let's print it out. Console.log JSON array. Let's see. Let's see if it works. So see, you got something like that. Array 3D actually looks like. So if you see that, so you get it this way. So this is an array and that's the JSON form of this whole thing. So now let's convert it back. So how do you convert it back? We have the function JSON.parse. So let me store it in another variable. So we'll make a name called final array. Okay, and let me do JSON.parse, and we will put in there JSON array. So you can console.log final array. Let's see if it works out. See, you have got the JSON array and you have got the final array, which is same as this. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. Okay, yeah, it looks really good. So it's possible to do it. That's it for this video, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and even comment on the video. So bye bye, take care.